Hey guys, welcome to Big Sister. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Thank you for being subscribers. Those of you who are new to the channel, thank you very much. Those of you who watch my videos, just pop on. I appreciate you guys. Consider subscribing, liking, hitting the notification bell, guys, so that you can know when I've uploaded something new. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Sometimes I have stuff with a little bit of ASMR in the background, a bit of rain and all of that stuff. I'm exploring with a lot of different software and things of that nature and apps. So we'll see. And then others is going to be like this one. It's just me talking to you. So guys, I want to talk with you about this message, and it's saying you're not bad. You're not bad. You just love the wrong person. You're not bad. You just loved the wrong person. Now, with that being said, I am a person that I think it's really important that we always are accountable and responsible for our behaviors. Whether it was something that was provoked, whether it was something that we may feel we had a right to react, but it does not necessarily mean, something can be, how do I say this? I think I did a video like this before. Like, your emotions and your feelings may be justified, but your actions after that is not. Your feelings may be justified. What the person did legitimately is wrong, but your course of action to deal with that feeling can be wrong. And there are times that you could be with somebody that really brings out the worst in you. You may even bring out the worst in someone else, because not everybody is meant to be together. Sometimes people, they will rely on attraction and chemistry, and because you guys share some similarities, but actually if you don't have the same core values and beliefs, and you don't have the same level of dedication to one another, then guess what? The relationship is not going to work. Some people, they will be with you as long as things are good. And there are some people who expect to just do the worst possible things to you and expect you to still be there, because they feel like love is supposed to hurt, but love is not supposed to hurt. So you may have gone through some things in your life with somebody that really brought out the worst. You loved them, you cared about them, you were trying to understand them. They may have told you some things about their lives, you may have known some things about them, or you're just someone you have a lot of empathy. And you thought that if you stayed with this person and if you show them how loyal and faithful you were, they will change. And they didn't change. And over time, because you kept sticking around with this person, your character changed. You learned to argue back. You learned to be manipulating. You cheated back. You did different things. You got violent, maybe, okay? And I'm not here to condone violence. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's justified. But perhaps this is something you did. It is not you. Because there are people who they are consistent in doing things wrong and messed up to other people. And then when you are finally at that peak and you react, they're going to capitalize on that. And they're going to make you feel like you're a bad person and you're a terrible person and you're a horrible person. They may even go so far as to record that, put you on speakerphone, call someone when you are having a meltdown because they've hurt you so badly. And now they have this thing on camera, or they have you in the background and no one's having full context of what's going on. They put on their performance, they put on that facade to how they want people to perceive them versus you. And all of a sudden now, people are saying certain things about you. They broke up with you now and they're like, oh, it was horrible. It was terrible. He was this kind of person. She was this type of person. And now you begin to believe that, because now they have the amen corner. They have their people who are talking you down or looking at you like, maybe they have friends that didn't even like you to begin with, or family that did not approve of you being with them. And so now this is a moment for them to capitalize. And guess what? Friends that didn't used to talk to each other, all of a sudden they're talking to each other because now they have you in common. Isn't that interesting? There are people they normally wouldn't get along, but they all don't like you. So now that they realize that they can talk about you, and now what they have in common is the joy of your downfall, they all get together and be friends. But the thing I can tell you about people like that, people that just get together, that come together like buzzards when something is dying or has died, they're going to end up going at each other anyway. They're going to end up destroying one another because they really have nothing in common. They may not even like each other, but they like the fact that you don't like that they like the fact that what they have in common is not liking you. What they have in common is being willing to tear you apart with words and plot and plan and scheme, you see. So I want to encourage somebody today that I want you to understand that the things that that person has said to you, the things that the liar, the cheater, the manipulator, the gaslighter, the person that you thought was a friend, the person you thought that who would protect you, the person who you thought would really honor your vows, the person that you thought you can trust in this business, and they turn around and they show you that they are not good for you. The person who's a manipulator, don't let their last words or their narrative ring true to you. I know that you may feel embarrassed about certain things that you have done or how you behaved, but you have to understand that you invested in someone who is not good for you. And perhaps you didn't leave when you got that first sign. You thought you could be there. Maybe you thought to leave, but this person was able to pull you in with tears and a story and promises. And when you stick around and you hang around a person this way because their character is not right, when you hang around them, you're going to slowly deplete, and all your morals will shift and change because you're going to question it. Because a lot of times people like that, they're going to cause you to question your reality, and they're going to guilt you. And all of a sudden, you'll find that the strength that you had to walk away before is gone. You'll find that the ability for you to have critical thinking and see things as it is gone because you're being hurt. And when you're being hurt, if you have a sheet of paper, I want you to do this experiment. If you take a blank sheet of paper and you just take a pen or a marker and just put one dot on that piece of paper, well, that's the first offense that they did and that first thing they did. And then they say that they're sorry. And then they do another one and another one and another one and another one. And it just keeps going. And you keep on hanging with them. And over time, they instead of just doing little dabbles and dots, they start to scribble and to just hit really hard. And I want you to see how that paper is going to start to look so different. And then now they get bold. They move from just putting little dots and to scribbling, and now they want to crumple you. And I want you to really crumple that paper. And then they want to rip the edges off. And then they're going to be bold and put you in shred and ball you up and toss you on the ground. And then I want you to do that with a piece of paper. And tell me what you see. Well, the paper had purpose, whether it was wrapping paper or whether it's paper that you can write on, a notebook paper, a sticky note. You're going to see that it can no longer carry out its function. It's no longer acceptable. Even if you were to piece it together, it can no longer function, you see? And that's what happened to you. But what was the problem? Was there a problem with that paper in the first place, or the paper was in the wrong hands? You see? So now you and I, we have a lot more, we have the ability to make choices versus a piece of paper, which is an inanimate object. It has no sort of, no choice. We just get it and we do what we need to do with it, right? So now it's time for you to learn not to just allow people to take you and write whatever they want to write and scribble and dot and dot. You have to be your first line of protection. And the way that's going to happen is to understand that you have to understand what is your weaknesses? What are your shortcomings? Why do you keep getting the same type of person? You could have moved to Nepal and you'll still choose the same type of person. Why? Because something has happened. You have to find certain character traits in these individuals that you choose, and then do an honest scrutiny of your life. Who in your life behaves this way? Who do you know in your life, whether it was from childhood, middle age, or some point, a best friend, a cousin, someone, a grandparent, who behaved like this? Because sometimes the person you pick, they have similar traits to someone in your life that was either your abuser or someone who neglected you. And when someone hurts you, just like that piece of paper, there's still remnants of that hurt. And you may go through life just getting a good education, working out, looking good, working on the outside, going up the corporate ladder, making money, doing whatever, being funny, being athletic, being the best fighter. Whatever it is that you do, sometimes it's because you are trying to cover up that root of pain, and you may be doing it more than likely not even realizing it. But see, you still have those seeds in you, those deposits. So when you go through life, you cannot make choices that are healthy, because what you know is abuse, what you know is someone that's vindictive, what you understand is a passive aggressive person, a person who, when they want you to do something, they'll shut down on you to get you to do what they want you to do. And so you'll find yourself meeting people like that and reacting the same way. This is something, guys, where you have to go and get therapy. You have to go get healing, counsel, talk about it, cry about it, and be persistent. If those of you have the ability to really go in and see someone, go sit down with a therapist, then go and do those things. Sit down and talk about this stuff, okay? And those of you don't have the means for that, nowadays everything is online for free. You can go on YouTube and look up anything about abuse, getting counsel for that. Not people that's just going to talk about it, make you feel terrible about it, and make you feel worse, but there are people who can help you, and you do that. And there are self-help books, and you have to be deliberate in making different decisions in your life. And you have to understand that it is going to be a journey. It's going to take time, but it is not impossible, because you want to make healthy choices later on. And you don't want to keep drawing the same person to you. And you don't want to sit around saying, I'm a bad person, I'm horrible, I'm bad, look at how I reacted, look at what I did. When you're around a person who is deceiving, manipulating, a liar, a habitual liar, a person who continues to hurt you over and over again, your nature is going to change. I have some beautiful roses on my countertop right now. And when I bought them, they were fresh and beautiful. But you have to realize, even the roses, when I saw them in the store and I got them, they were already outside of their element. From the minute they're taken out of the root, the source of life, they start to die. They have this window to be beautiful, and then they will die. But just for the sake of this counsel that I'm talking about, I get those roses and I bring them home, and they're beautiful. And they come with I guess it's plant food I can put in the water. And I need to give it lots of sunlight and have a nice light near it, but not too much. I don't think you can have too much light on a rose. And open the blinds and let the sun shine in and enjoy the beauty of it. And the rose will transform and bud and open up and do all these things that they're going to do. But if I come home and I bring those roses and I just leave them in the packet and put them on the countertop, they're going to change. If I just keep them in a dark room and I just leave them tied up and coiled up and leave them in the plastic and put them on the ground, they're going to change. They're going to die faster. The beautiful blossom, it is blossom, right? They open up. I'm not going to see that. Or if that's exciting, but I turn the light off and I shut that door and I pour the water out, the roses will die quickly, because in my hands they will change. So I want you to understand it's the same thing with you. When you're with someone who abuses you and mistreats you and they handle you poorly and they hit you and they lie, and they may not hit you physically, while some do, but they may hit you emotionally and mentally and play games with you, you are going to have a point where you are going to react, and you are going to act out, and you are going to be ugly, and you're going to curse them back out, and you are going to do back to them what they do to you. And now you're going to start talking to them in a rude way, or sometimes you don't do anything like that, but silently inside you are dying and you are sad. And you'll begin to believe, when you behave that way, now they're going to go, oh, see, That's why I couldn't do right by you. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing that. Sometimes they provoke you. And because you are actually a decent and kind person, you feel remorse and you feel regret. And you're going to look at yourself and you're going to say, I'm a terrible person. And you think this about yourself and you feel shame. And maybe you begin to feel that you deserve this. Maybe you begin to feel and you begin to blame yourself, because manipulating people are going to totally omit what they have done. And they're going to make you feel as if you've always been this sort of person. And they wound you and they may say things to you and they'll break up with you. And now you leave thinking you're a bad person, or you remain with them thinking, I am a bad person. I am a horrible person. Look what I did. Look how I reacted. I couldn't even, I had a meltdown. I chased the car down. I threw things. I broke things. I cursed. I ended up going to a mental institution. Whatever it is, you may begin to think it's shame. But I want you to know that's the beginning of your healing. You have to understand that when you're around someone, a balloon will not pop unless, if someone is holding a pen and they stand in the room with that balloon, it's not going to pop until that person comes and pokes it. And remember the analogy I gave you with that piece of paper. I hope you will take the time to do this little experiment with just a sheet of paper and understand. And please start just with one little dot and just think that first offense, the second offense, the first hurt, the second, the first lie, and just put little marks on there. And just get bold and look at it. That paper did not come like that, but in your hands it changed. So I want you to understand that we, these individuals that behave this way, that you are with someone that's not a good person. This person has problems. This person may have told you already about their sad beginnings and struggles. Maybe you felt that you needed to stay there with them, but look at you now. Look how quickly they discarded you at the first sign of smoke. Oh, I'm out of here. Look how quickly they dropped you. And sometimes they're not gone. They're still there. They're still destructive, but you look at yourself and you don't recognize yourself because you're not yourself. Who you are has been diminished and just beat all the way down, but you are still in there. But you are with the wrong person. So I want you to give yourself some grace. I want you to understand what has happened to you and take deliberate steps to heal. Whether it's reading, I'm a person, I pray. I believe in the Lord. That is me. But everybody does not. Okay? But even with that, even with me believing in the Lord and all of that, guess what? I still need to do other practical things, whether that's exercising, whether that's getting out, being with my friends, taking time for myself, taking time for family, doing things of that nature, going to get counsel, going to and getting the therapy and all of that, and the crying and the tears. You have to do that. You may want to try to get answers from this person, but they may or may not give it to you. A lot of times they won't give you any answers because they don't feel sorry about what they did. And not only that, that's also going to give them more power over you. So sometimes, guys, you don't even try to get closure. You have to take care of yourself. And a lot of times the respect is just gone, right? They don't have any respect for you. You have allowed them to do so much. They don't care anymore. They've done so much. And if they've moved on with someone else, they definitely are going to be even more indifferent. But guess what? You're responsible for you. And I want you to think differently about yourself. You're not a bad person. You're not bad. You just love the wrong individual. And now it's time for you to love you and to focus on you and to get healing and not just to pile up and cover up all the hurt and pain. And then you look good on the outside and sound good, but then you become like the person who have hurt you. Now you go through life saying never again. And you hurt someone who may have been who is there to be a good friend, a business partner, and someone that could have really loved you and would have given you happiness. Because you have all these sharp edges, you destroy them. So the work may be difficult. And it's amazing how sometimes people will not take the time and invest in yourself to heal, but you will have wasted so many years with someone who is no good. Love yourself and invest in the hard work in building yourself up the same way you were willing to stick around with a horrible friend and a horrible partner and this horrible person that mistreated you for 5, 10, 15 months, years, weeks, whatever it is. Now it's time for you to give yourself that love and that patience. And you know what? You're going to be very surprised with what's beneath. You see, you still have a lot more to give, whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not. And you have some beautiful diamonds and beautiful gems that's hidden beneath all that rough. And you know what? That stuff was hidden because this person didn't need to see it. Otherwise, they'll stick around and use you a bit longer. And you know, when you come out on top, and some of you have, when you heal and you get better and you start to thrive and you start to shine again, guess who's coming around? That old crab patty you used to go out with, showing up, hey, liking your videos, things of that nature, trying to talk. Don't open that door. Don't do it. Trying to be your friend. And I'm going to do a video about that. About exes that wants to be your friends. I don't think so. I'm going to tell you why. And it's not about being hateful or anything like that, or having revenge. But no, you don't get to salvage good whatever parts of me you miss and like, and you're moving on to someone else. Okay, beat it, get out of here. You know what I mean? But I'll talk about that later. But I want you to discover the gems that's in you. I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to realize that you are not bad. You love the wrong person. Tell yourself that. I am not a bad person. I simply love the wrong person. And how can you be angry at yourself for having been someone who genuinely loved? All right, guys. Peace.